In the latest midweek championship fixtures, we got 6 results correct, but unfortunately no scores. There were some shockers in there, such as Sheffield Wednesday, bottom of the league, getting a 1-1 draw with top of the league Leicester. That kind of tops it off, but it was an interesting game week. Blues again lost, not going too well, especially away from home, but I'm more optimistic this weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the predictions. We start with Preston against QPR on Friday night, and whilst Preston, they got annihilated 4-0 by Middlesbrough, QPR managed to pick up their first win under new manager Fuentes, and their first win for a very long time. It's been 12-13 games, so a massive win for them. It came at the hands of Stoke. Brilliant win. They'll be hoping that they can carry that form on here, but I am going to go for a 1-1 draw because they are away. A clash near the top of the table. It's the early one on Saturday, West Brom against Leicester. This will be very interesting because West Brom have won 5 out of their last 6. They're absolutely smashing it, and it just shows what a good manager can do, because they weren't expected to do very well this season, but first full season in charge and it's going brilliantly. They'll be hoping to keep it up and secure a playoff place. I know we're not even halfway through the season, but I think that is now their goal for this season. Leicester, it's not looking too good at the moment. They faltered in midweek with a 1-1 draw against bottom of the league Sheffield Wednesday, and they've only picked up 4 points out of their last 4 games. Something that shocks me because this Leicester side looks so dominant, but one thing we did pick up on is that Leicester were winning a lot of games by the odd goal, and is that really sustainable? Are they going to slip up at times when they don't get that winner? Well, yes, and that is what's happening as of late. So Leicester aren't in the greatest of form compared to West Brom, but they've got so much quality. If they turn up, they will win this one. So I'm going to go for that. West Brom lost to Southampton as their last loss. Leicester, another side that's just came down and are smashing it. So the Foxes to win 2-1. Blues take on Rotherham, and whilst Blues got their first win under Rooney last weekend at home against Sheffield Wednesday, we did lose 4-2 in the week to Blackburn. However, Rotherham have picked up 1 point from 9 away games this season. They're the worst away side in the league, and they are being absolutely trounced every time they travel. They concede so many goals. They've got an awful goal difference away from home, and that tied with the fact that against Blackburn, if it wasn't for those 15 minutes of awful defending and John Ruddy not realising that he's a goalkeeper, we could have really won that game. We had 20 odd shots in that one, so it makes me think that whilst the attack starts to come together and Rotherham concede so many and are awful away, that there could be some goals in this for Blues and it could give us some confidence. So Blues to win 3-0. An interesting affair as Hull take on Watford. Both these sides are very hard to beat. Hull only lost 1 of 6 and it was against West Brom. Leicester were the only side to beat Watford, and that was the first loss out of 8 games. So Watford and Hull hard to beat, which makes me think a high scoring, exciting draw 2-2. Ipswich against Coventry. Now, with Ipswich being at home, they are very strong at home. They're very strong all the time. Brilliant side. And they finally managed not to concede 2 in a game. They've done it for 5 in a row, but they beat Millwall 3-1 in midweek. And if they can only concede 1 a game, it's much more sustainable in their promotion bid. Coventry lost 4 in a row, but since then, 3 unbeaten, 1 draw and 2 wins, and they've kept clean sheets in all 3 games. They'll be hoping that they can continue that here, but it's going to be a tough ask, and I don't think I'll be betting on a Coventry clean sheet this weekend. I am going to go for Ipswich to win 3-1. Leeds face Middlesbrough, and whilst Leeds have won 4 out of their last 5 and only lost 1 of 9, brilliant form from them. Middlesbrough, they haven't been so good away from home recently. 2 games without a win, conceding 6 in those 2 games. Although they've been good at home, and before that they were in very good form, their recent away struggles, paired with the fact that Leeds are a brilliant side in brilliant form, I've got to go for Leeds to win 2-1. Millwall face Sunderland, and Millwall only won 1 of their last 8 fixtures, so they are struggling a lot at the moment. Sunderland lost 2 in a row, not been too many goals for them, so I am going to go, and I feel like I have to do it every week, although I think I may have missed it last week. I'm going to go for a 0-0. Plymouth v Stoke looks like a kind of easier prediction if you take the form into account. Plymouth, whilst away they've lost 3 in a row, at home they've picked up 7 points out of their last 3 games, and they're just much better at home. Stoke, they won 3 in a row in a perfect week against Sunderland, Leeds and Middlesbrough. Tough fixtures as well. Then they drew 2 games 0-0 against Cardiff and Coventry, and their latest 2 games have been heavy losses against both Blackburn and QPR, conceding 7 in those 2 games. Stoke seem to be going in the wrong direction again. I thought they'd turned a corner with those wins, but it hasn't been great as of late. So I am going to back Plymouth, because they're so strong at home, to win it 2-1. Sheffield Wednesday face Blackburn, and while Sheffield Wednesday did brilliantly to score a last minute equaliser against leaders Leicester, they're still looking for their second win. They're still bottom of the table, and they need wins very soon, as we're coming to the halfway point and there's a lot of fixtures coming up, so the Christmas period could be very decisive for the Owls. Now, their opponents Blackburn have been very good at scoring recently, and they've actually won 4 away games in a row in the league, so very strong away at the moment. Sammy Schmodix is scoring a ridiculous amount of goals, doing brilliantly for them. They won 4-2 against Blues in the week. That was a home game. Again, Blues really shot themselves in the foot, having an awful opening 15 minutes of the second half. But Blackburn took their chances, and that was that. So I've got to go for Blackburn to win this one 3-1. Southampton take on Cardiff. Southampton are on a 10-game unbeaten run, and within that period they've got 4 out of 5 wins at home. So very strong the Saints are at St Mary's. Cardiff, quite hit and miss at the moment, not getting any consistent form. So I've got to back the Saints. I think, they'll at least get a point, but in all honesty, I think they'll win it. So Southampton to win 2-1. Swansea take on Huddersfield, and the Swans haven't been great recently. 4 games without a win. They have drawn their last 2 home games, and they've had some tough fixtures, I guess, but no wins as of late. Huddersfield picked up a win in midweek 2-1 against Sunderland, and they've been much better defensively, conceding only 3 goals in their last 4 games and picking up 5 points in that period, which is the reason I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Bristol City take on Norwich. This is Sunday's game, and Bristol City have won 3 of their last 4 home games, so pretty decent form from them. Away form I'm not going to consider at the moment, because a lot of teams are a lot better at one place than they are the other. Norwich, they haven't been great. They've lost 6 of their last 10, winning 3. 2 of those wins did come in their last 3 games, but I don't really know how much that matters, because Norwich haven't been great. They beat Cardiff away, a last minute snatch. They beat QPR 1-0. I think in this one, all signs kind of lead to the Robins getting all 3 points. So I'll go 2-1. So those are my predictions for these championship fixtures. Let me know what your predictions are below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and up the Blues.